So do you ever start a fat loss phase and it just drags on forever? You're eating clean, hitting your workouts, cutting out the carbs, but after a few weeks, progress just seems to slow up every time. Your motivation dips, and before you know it, 2, 3, 4 months down the line, you're back at square one. The belly's still there, the love handles, you feel skinny, flat, small, but also like fat at the same time. You haven't managed to finish another cut, but you're already thinking about bulking. Deep down, you still know that you don't really like what you see in the mirror. See, that's the reality for most skinny fat guys that are trying to get lean and jacked. It's not that you don't want it enough necessarily, it's just that you're trying to grind through one long miserable diet. So in this video, I'm going to take you through a much smarter method that you can use, and that I use with my own clients, that helps them finish their shred. It's called the sprint method. It's how we drop fat way faster without burning out, without turning into a smaller, softer version of yourself, and without feeling like this whole fat loss thing is never ending for you. And there's an opportunity for you to kickstart your first proper shred sprint, but I'll talk about that later. So let's crack on. So let's talk about why most normal fat loss diets fail. See, most guys, they don't fail because they don't want it enough. They fail because they're trying to diet with no finish line in sight. So you're on week 6 of eating clean, low carbs, training hard, feeling fucking knackered, and you've still got loads of belly fat remaining. Love handles have only just started to disappear, and it's quite clear that you've got a long way to go. Problem is, you thought this was going to be a 8-10 week thing. So that feeling of how long is this going to take? Am I going to be on this diet forever? It starts to creep in. Before you know it, one little cheat day can easily turn into 3 weeks of no food tracking, no properly following through on your plan, and just going back to square one and getting fucked off again. So what I do with my clients is called the sprint method. So what is it? Here's how it works. Instead of dragging your diet out over 4, 5, 6 months, which ultimately for most guys, that's kind of how long it takes. And it's really hard to stick to it for that long, let's be honest. We break it into short, aggressive sprints. 6 to 8 weeks of pushing hard, a high aggressive calorie deficit, high protein, some proper structure, and being very, very vigilant. But then you finish that off with a little refeed period, a little bit of time to reset where you can ease off. 1 to 2 weeks where you have more flexibility, you're at maintenance calories, you can recover. Then you go again. So these are called sprints. They're designed to get you much leaner, much quicker, and finish your overall shred phase way fucking quicker than if you tried to do it all in one go. So the reality is that your shred is going to take longer than you initially thought. Some guys are very, very lucky, and they can get it done in 6, 8, 10 weeks. Most skinny fat guys out there that I work with, realistically, this is going to be a solid 3 to 6 month window of shredding up. Having to drag through 3, 4, 5, 6 months non-stop, saying no to socials, stopping the missus from ordering Deliveroos, feeling more and more hungry and having less and less energy. It's just a ticking time bomb. And that feeling of it's never gonna end, this is gonna take forever, it's a one-way ticket for you to give up way easier. When you've only got 6 to 8 weeks for you to focus on and for you to ultimately be able to count down from, it's way easier to stay vigilant and be aggressive. Like I said, you're in that temporary countdown mode. It's just so much easier knowing that there is a finish line. Even if it's not the overall finish line, it's a temporary finish line before you can reset, have a little bit of a rewarding downtime before you go again. I first introduced the sprint method inside of my Accelerate program, my 8-week shred sprint program, and to be honest with you, the results were insane. Kind of goes against the trend of my coaching, which is, long-term transformations. Giving people this 8-week kickstart, it was super, super fucking effective. 85-90% of the guys that came on board for that very first Accelerate, and well, the remaining 2 or 3 others that I've done since, they've seen massive, significant visual changes inside that 8 weeks. Why? Because it was a sprint. Even though they knew that's not the end of their journey, it was easier to stay vigilant and count down knowing that they had 8 weeks to get shit done. So let's see what a shred phase can look like broken down into sprints. So we'll start with Ollie. He was quite lucky. He shredded up in just 2 sprints. The first was 10 weeks last autumn before Christmas. He then enjoyed the holiday maintenance mode, his holiday refeed mode, which is obviously like, you know, very well planned around Christmas time and conveniently planned. It didn't involve an absolute blowout. You know, I showed him how to eat at maintenance range while navigating the holiday socials. Then he was all ready to smash his New Year second sprint. Boom. Absolutely shredded up. He's still with me now on my one-to-one program, and we're deep in a long build phase now because we managed to see the shred phase through. Yes, it took 2 sprints and it wasn't all done in just 8 weeks, but breaking it down into individual sprints meant he actually got the job done. And now he's building, now his calories are up and he's enjoying getting absolutely jacked, no longer worrying about belly and the love handles still being there. So a couple more examples of guys here can rip up in just a couple of 6 to 10 week sprints, like my guys Craig and Chris here, right? Again, these guys and many others, they've struggled to stick to diets long term in the past for more than a few months, and once introduced to the sprint method, it just made it so much easier to ramp up the intensity, knowing you've only got 6 weeks to go, 5 weeks to go, 4 weeks to go. Also on the other end of the spectrum, just to show it does work for everyone, there's a couple of my guys here who needed a much longer shred phase overall, which isn't what we want, but the reality is sometimes it's what we have to endure. So these 2 individuals, Anthony and Avinash, had to go through 5 sprints each. Alright, which is way longer than what my average sort of skinny fat client who comes to me has to go through. Typically it's just 2, maybe 3 sprints. Avinash here, first off, his overall shred, he dropped 30 fucking kilos, which we broke up into 5 sprints, peeling off anywhere from 4 to 8 kilos each time. Each sprint he got a little bit close to the end goal. And then each sprint is a little bit more motivating than the other, knowing that you are closer and closer and closer, and you know then how many sprints left. You get a much clearer idea of how many sprints are remaining till you are done. Another one of my guys here is Anthony. So he came to me not having touched a weight, not done any exercise in years, so he's really not a skinny fat client, right? But it doesn't mean I can't help him, obviously. It's the same process, so just a longer shred phase and requiring more patience. Almost 40 kilos he had to drop here, and we extended each sprint a little bit longer, pushing for 10 to 12 weeks on some sprints if we could, and we also had slightly bigger periods of maintenance. This was a longer journey, but just goes to show that breaking it down into individual sprints is the way to go. Whether you've just got a couple of sprints, like most of my skinny fat clients who just need to peel away a couple of layers of belly fat and love handles and then they can start building, or for the bigger guys who ultimately it is going to take more sprints, it is a longer journey, but this works just as well for them too. Would they have got there by just trying to do it in one long miserable diet? No fucking chance, to be honest. Now all of these guys have the reward of enjoying a long build phase with high calories because they committed and completed their shred phases, which is just phase 1 of my 4-phase system, taking guys from skinny fat to lean and jacked. I'll leave a link to the 4-phase system deep dive video, probably at the end of this video, if you want to check that out later on to show you the exact full system step by step that I use with my clients. The point of this video, I wanted to show you that this sprint method can shred you up fast in just a couple of sprints. 6 to 10 weeks of focused and aggressive fat loss, drop 5 to 10 kilos in each individual sprint depending on your size. High protein diet to keep you full and help maintain or even build some muscle during these phases. 3 to 4 smart focused training sessions per week. Then you have your refeed, your little reset, typically anywhere between 4 days up to 3 to 4 weeks, depends on the individual, but put your calories up to maintenance, enjoying some meals out, take the pressure off, letting your motivation rebuild and getting you mentally prepared for that next sprint. And you go again, and you have a refeed, and you keep going until you're proper lean up and you can start that build phase in a place of knowing this is all gone. This brings me to you. If you want to learn and implement this sprint method properly with full coaching, accountability and structure, exactly what my 8-week Shred Sprint program Accelerate is built for. It's my 8-week rapid transformation program kickstarting your skinny fat to lean and jack journey by igniting the fuck out of phase 1, which is the shred phase. Here's what you get in the program. You get tailored workout programming via my coaching app, nutrition coaching using my freedom-based approach, helping you drop that 5 to 10 kilos pretty damn quick, weekly check-ins and feedback personally from me so I can keep you on track, live coaching calls in the entire group every single week to keep you focused and clear, knowing exactly what you should be doing for the week ahead, private community with all the other chaps who are on board, access to all my training libraries, nutrition guides, recipe packs, eating out strategies, and a personal road mapping session, just me and you, where I will map out the rest of your 4-phase journey after the 8 weeks on Accelerate. And a big cash prize for the best transformation voted for by you guys. All of this is just for 99 quid if you are on the early bird discount waiting list. It's an absolute fucking steal of a deal, to be honest with you. The amount of coaching and value that's inside this program is unbeatable, especially for that price. It's fucking ridiculous. And it's just a small step below my one-to-one coaching program. Now, I only run this program 3 times a year. September, which is coming up when I'm making this video now, September, January and April. So depending when you're watching this video, you know when the next one's coming up. Potentially, this could be perfect timing for you. I left a link in the description below for all the details of the Accelerate program and where you can put yourself on that discount waiting list if you want to grab those spaces when it opens up. Take advantage of that absolute ridiculous offer when doors open. So if you want in, go to the description below, click on the link giving the Accelerate details, check it out, and get yourself on that waiting list. And like I said before, if you want to see how this sprint method fits into the full 4-phase transformation system, you're going to want to watch this video somewhere here, where I break down the entire 4-phase system so you can escape the skinny fat trap for good.